You are in grave danger, Coraline. Or whatever that quote is.
Should we watch Coraline while we... Coraline? Is that a word we know?
Hi friends! Welcome to Funshine Fab Crochet. I am Kelsey. This is my crochet corner and this is my new Coraline sweater. Full transparency, I've only seen the movie Coraline like twice and I have a really bad movie memory, so do I remember that much about the movie? No, not really. But I do remember this cute star sweater that she wears, and I thought, I'd like one of those. I'll make it. And that's what we're doing today. We are also making a wig. You'll see a little bit of that. And you'll see a little bit of the wig on my head, but it's a bust. More on that to come. Let's get started on this sweater together. Here I am in my sweater.
And whoa, just like that, here is Kelsey with no sweater. Whoa! I got this yarn. They had a few different options. I think Coraline's sweater is like a deeper blue than this, but I loved this with the silver tinsel in it. It made me think of like a starry night sky, so I was like, this is the one for me. I'm also pretty sure her sweater is fairly tight fitting and it's kind of short on her wrists. I'm not gonna make mine like that. This is Coraline's sweater with a twist. I didn't want to spend too much on this because I actually don't know what I'm doing for Halloween. So I only got 5 of these. I'm hoping that's enough to make a sweater. They were 252 yards, I believe. And I got this to make a wig because Coraline has that iconic blue hair. Something I really appreciate about the movie Coraline is the Beetle they drive. Like, the family has I think it's silver Volkswagen Beetle. And if you know me, you know I love Beetles and I drive a Beetle. My first car ever was a silver Beetle, so I actually haven't seen it in some time, so I might forget some details, but definitely recommend. I chained 62 times and I'm gonna go back and start double crocheting through that chain. I have indeed used this Tinsley yarn before in a different color, and it sometimes the Tinsley part breaks because I mean it's just like a thin tinsel piece of plastic, but sometimes your hook will hook just the yarn or just the tinsel instead of both because they become a little separated from each other here and there, and it can be pretty frustrating, to be honest. So that is 13 rows. So now I'm gonna create the neck hole. And sorry if you can hear my neighbor washing his truck. I always have to make sure the neck hole actually fits over my head because one time I made an entire dress, weaved in the ends and everything, and then went to try it on and realized that I made the neck hole too small. And it wasn't like, oh, I can work with it. I could not physically get it over my enormous cranium. This is how far one skein went. This is 252 yards of yarn, and we are moving on to skein number 2. So let's see how far this one goes. I've done 14 rows on the second side past the neck hole, which means it is time to join these two sides together with a slip stitch. Nope, sorry, with a chain 1. And then I'm gonna start what is the 14th row on the first side. So at the end of that side, I just chain 1 and slip stitched into the first double crochet there. So it is one connected entity now. So here's the neck hole and here are the sleeves. You get the vibe. We're getting somewhere. I've used probably a little more than half of the second skein here, and we're making some progress. After I stop recording today, I'm gonna have to look up what Coraline's sweater looks like because I can't remember if it has a turtleneck or not. I think it has a little something raised up from the main sweater, but I don't know if it's a full turtleneck or not. And this is how far 2 skeins got us. Time for a quick intermission. For me, it'll only feel like a second for you. There's a stink bug on my arm. You want to trip outside forever? And let's get started on skein number 3. I don't do anything fancy when I'm doing the sleeves, except I go around and do nothing but half double crochets for the first row, because sometimes doubles just end up with gaps too big between each stitch. Then I'll go back to doing doubles for the whole rest of the sleeve. Okay, that is 20 sleeve rows. Probably about mid forearm. I'll probably do about 9 more rows, 8 or 9, and then we'll do some cuffing at the bottom. Okay, sorry about that. I was sitting here thinking, why is it so dark in here? And then I looked up and realized because I never turned the light on. So we got 28 rows of sleeve, and now I'm adding the cuffs at the end. Sorry if you hear Sunday playing with her toy. If anybody's ever called me a professional, it was a slip of the tongue, because there is always some background noise, some tomfoolery, some lighting issues. Hopefully you come here for this. And there is one sleeve finito. It's day 2 and we're working on sleeve 2. It's gonna be a good day. Snip. 2 sleeves. I finally looked up pictures of Coraline, and she does indeed have a turtleneck on this sweater. So let's do that next. And there's the little turtleneck. I tried to keep it small because sometimes turtlenecks irritate me. Everything is finished now except for the length, so let's work on that. And I have 1 skein and a teeny bit of another one left, so we'll see how far that gets us. Last skein. I finished the ribbing at the bottom of the sweater, and now it's time for the fun part. We're gonna have to add stars, and I had to relearn how to do them on YouTube. I imagine attaching these is gonna be something out of my worst nightmare, because I don't enjoy sewing on appliques, but that's okay. That sucked. But I think it looks great, and I think the star is the perfect size. While I work on this star, I will tell you, I had some trouble deciding which color I wanted to use to make the stars, because if you look at her sweater in different lighting, sometimes they look white, sometimes they look like a gray kind of taupey color. And I decided this kind of ivory, kind of cream, kind of white color would be looking the best on this blue. But what color are the stars? I don't know. I think it's up for debate what color they are on her sweater. 2 stars. And there we have 3 stars. It took me hours to sew these stars on. And I think they look pretty good. Lay your eyes on that. Also, it's time to make the wig. I went ahead and made the cap off camera because that was boring and I had to count. So let's do the fun part together and add the fringe, which is gonna be hair. I'm sure I look very silly. I just tried to keep this part shorter in the front so that I wouldn't have a bunch of hair in my face. I think I'll just take 2 pieces at a time at first, and then just go around the bottom. Okay, the wig is atrocious. I ran out of yarn. I should have made it longer. My hair doesn't fit in it. It'll work for one night, but it's crazy. Okay, so the wig had to go. It was getting tiny little pieces of plastic in my eye because it is acrylic. I just pulled like 10 pieces of fuzz out of my eyeball. So the wig, we're not getting along right now. But the sweater. The sweater is a bop. I ended up using both cream colored and white yarn together, and I think the combination looks great.
I would normally never do that. Originally, I had no intention of doing different size stars, but I ended up doing it in the end, and I'm glad I did. Here is the back of the sweater. I think it's inconspicuous enough that I could wear it in public all fall and winter, and people will be like, hey, is that Coraline's sweater? But also people would be like, oh, that's just a shiny blue sweater with stars on it. I learned a lot about wig making, like don't make wigs. So yeah, friends, that's the 411. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you watching to the end especially, and I will see you soon. Bye.